Hello, this is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, a part of Redbud Realty and Associates. I just finished a 5-part series on the essentials of real estate short sales. What I'd like to do is another 4 videos primarily dealing with the foreclosure process, because that is something that you also need to understand. Every state's a little bit different, so things that I'm saying in this 4-part series is primarily Oklahoma law and the way that we do things here. Now, some things are universal, and that is the process starts with default. And default, according to the lender, is when you're more than 30 days late. So at that 31st day or more, they're reporting to the credit bureaus that you have a late pay, and you are considered, according to the mortgage that you signed, in default. Now, you probably don't remember that from closing. You were probably just signing with your head spinning and didn't read everything, but essentially that's what it says. You are in default of your agreement. Doesn't mean they're going to foreclose on you at that process, but it does mean that the lenders right now are going to be proactive in contacting with you about this problem, and we want you to be proactive. Please do communicate with your lender. That's very important now. Now, that default process keeps going, and maybe you do have a hardship like we deal with in short sales, where you have a job loss or you have medical problems and you're going, well, maybe something will come up, maybe I'll get $5,000 or $10,000 here one way or the other. Maybe I can borrow it, which typically you can't because of the lending restrictions now. And so now it's 2 and it's 3 and it's 4 months and you've missed a payment, and the lender's going, what can we do for you? Can we do a loan mod? Can we do whatever? But what happens is nothing happens at that point, and the lender has to start turning things over to an attorney. So not only do you have late payment penalties and you have interest, but now you're going to have a few $1,000s in attorney's fees that have been tacked on. What happens in Oklahoma at this point is we are a judicial state. In other words, the lender has to prove that they have the right to foreclose, that they own the loan and they're doing everything properly. You probably saw a lot about robo-signing in the papers, but that's primarily something that's happened in Florida and not here. And this normally happens about the 5th or 6th month, and you get a notice of less pendens. That's LES, one word, PENDENS, second word. And what less pendens means is that they are suing you for the right to foreclose. It goes to the judge, and if you're going to go into that hearing, you better have something. You better have a forensic audit that proves malfeasance. You just can't go in there and say, oh, they were predatory lenders. That doesn't work. You have to prove that they made a mistake. Typically, that doesn't happen. The judge rules in favor of the lender, and at that point, you're officially in the foreclosure process. And then at that point, then what the lender is required to do is do some reporting and publication saying, we are foreclosing on this property. If you think you have a right to this mortgage ahead of us or whatever, then please, get in contact with us. We are foreclosing. Everything behind us is going to go away. Now, in the past, it's taken about 6 months from that less pendens notice in order to go through to the sheriff's sale. Now, sometimes they're happening a little bit faster. So what's going to happen at a certain point, let's say 3 months after judgment, is you're going to get a notice again that you're on the sheriff's sale list. Typically, like last Tuesday, I saw the sheriff's sale list for Oklahoma County for November 3rd sheriff's sales. That is when the lender's going to come in and take control of the property. In a way, you can say it's an official foreclosure, but in Oklahoma, even though there's other judicial states, we do things a little bit differently. We have what's called a curation period. This gives you the opportunity of another 2 weeks to what we call the confirmation of sheriff's sale, for you to come in and bring all the money. So if you owe $200,000, you can bring in $200,000 in a cashier's check, pay off the mortgage, and the home is still yours. If you don't, which about 100% of the time doesn't happen, then the lender at that point owns that property. You need to be out of the property. Now, in the future videos, we're going to deal with some of the byproducts of foreclosure that you need to be concerned with. This is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values at the speed of technology.